If you grew up in Nigeria, one very common insult that you either heard or you used as a child was telling somebody that they had a low IQ. By telling someone that they have a low IQ, you're essentially telling them that they are stupid, that they don't know anything. On the other side of the spectrum, we had the people we considered to have high IQ because they were very smart. They were book smart. They used to take first position, second position, and third position in class. And we automatically assumed that they had a high IQ. Those people had our respect because during our childhood days and due to the emphasis placed on education, we saw people who were smart in school as people to be respected, people to be envied, looked up to, or admired. You always wanted to be friends with the smart people. So most of my life growing up, I always believed that being book smart was the only definition of what it means to be intelligent. It was later on that I began to learn that there are other forms of intelligence, and in the arena of real life, those other forms of intelligence transcend the book intelligence, the IQ that we always talked about. IQ stands for intelligent quotient. It is a measure of someone's reasoning ability. But there are other forms of intelligence, and I'm going to talk about one of them in this video. And that form of intelligence is called emotional intelligence or emotional quotient, also known as EQ or EI. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down what emotional intelligence is and why it's so important, why you should work towards developing the skill set that is emotional intelligence. I'll start with defining emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is it's simply the ability to recognize, to understand, and to manage your emotions. I'll take that again. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, to understand, and to manage your emotions. Those are the three keywords there: recognize, understand, and manage. Recognizing your emotions means identifying your emotions, being able to know how you're feeling at any particular moment. It might sound very simple, but it's something that most people don't have the ability to do. Most people are so out of touch with themselves and their inner world and what is happening within them that they cannot identify, they cannot say this is how they're feeling at a particular time. They can't tell when they are feeling sad, depressed, angry, or anxious. They just carry on with their day without stopping to acknowledge or even identify their emotions. That's the first part of that definition, the first keyword there. The second one is understanding your emotions. Now you know how you're feeling. Understanding means knowing why you're feeling that way. What is the root cause of this emotion? Why are you feeling the way that you're feeling? That is understanding your emotion. The third keyword there is managing your emotions. Now you know your emotions, you understand why it's happening, and then you manage them. One of the reasons that people get into trouble in life is that they don't know how to manage their emotions. There's something that happened when I was in school back in uni. We heard about this incident about a guy in the lodge that stabbed his caretaker, and the caretaker died, and this guy was imprisoned. If you look at that person, you might be thinking that that person is a bad person. Oh, you stabbed somebody, killed somebody. But most of the time, things happen like this because of lack of emotional regulation, when you cannot manage your emotions. You see a seemingly normal person who has been living a seemingly good life, will end up doing crazy things that will indict them for the rest of their life just because they couldn't manage their emotions. That is the third aspect of emotional intelligence. Number one, you identify your emotions. Number two, you understand your emotions. And number three, you learn to manage your emotions. And with emotional intelligence, you're not just learning how to deal with your own emotions, you're also learning how to deal with the emotions of other people. Because human beings, we are social creatures. We have to relate with people, we have to have relationships with people. And emotions will always come to play when it comes into relationships. When you build that skill set of emotional intelligence, you learn not only how to manage your emotions, but also manage your relationships with other people. Know how to identify people's emotions, know how to understand people's emotions, and even know how to influence people's actions and behaviors because of your knowledge of their emotions and their states of thinking and being. Next, I'm going to talk about 5 different aspects of emotional intelligence. I want to talk about it so that you have a more in depth understanding of what emotional intelligence entails. We have self awareness, number one, self regulation, number two, empathy, three, motivation, four, and social skills, five. Self awareness, self regulation, empathy, motivation, and social skills. In self awareness, as the name implies, it means being aware of yourself. It means that you're able to identify your emotions. You're aware of your emotions. You're aware of your feeling states. Many people are out of touch, like I mentioned, out of touch with their internal environment because we're always distracted. We're always thinking, we're always looking outside of us. We're jumping from one distraction to another. I mean, with our age of technology and the internet, we're always busy with one thing or the other. Most people are out of touch with what is happening within them. In self awareness, you learn how to become aware of your emotions. You learn how to identify your emotions. And after identifying your emotions, you understand another aspect in self awareness is that you understand how your emotions affect your thoughts and your behavior. If you're self aware, you know that when you're feeling sad, you have different thoughts than when you're feeling happy. When I'm feeling motivated, I'm having thoughts like, yeah, like go get it, go do this and go do that. Like I can do this, I can do that. I'm doing so well. I am trying my best. I'm my biggest cheerleader when I'm feeling good. When I'm feeling down, it's so difficult to find positives, to say positive thoughts. Most times it's thoughts, self-defeating thoughts, and just dark, dark thoughts. So what I'm trying to explain is that emotions, there's this very interesting definition of emotions where they say emotions are energy emotion. Emotions move you to act and think in certain ways. Okay, let me use an example. You have a friend, both of you are close, you have had some good times, and this person does something to really, really annoy you. And in those moments, in that heated argument, you're very, very angry, and you imagine slapping this person. You have thoughts of, oh, I want to beat this person up, I want to slap this person. Fortunately, you don't, you hold yourself back. You're able to hold yourself back. When the anger has gone down, maybe this person has come to apologize to you, and you guys have made up again. If you look back at how you felt during that time of your anger towards this person, where you really wanted to slap this person or push this person away or tell this person that, oh, I'm done with you, I don't want to be friends again. And then you're now in a feeling good with this person after, you find that you had different thoughts, different actions that your emotions were pushing you towards. So with anger, it wanted to hurt this person and push the person away. But now that you're feeling good with this person, you want to bring the person closer. So with self-awareness, you understand, you not only identify your emotions, but you're able to understand how your emotions affect your thoughts and your actions. The second aspect of emotional intelligence I mentioned is self-regulation. Being able to regulate yourself. This relates with the third keyword in that definition of emotional intelligence, which is managing your emotions. Self regulation is knowing that, oh, I am not my emotions, so I will not let them control my life. I had this roommate in university, very beautiful girl, very smart, very intelligent, very kind. But there's something that she told me one time that, you know, made me shake my head a little. She told me, and she was a little proud about it. She told me that she had anger issues. Not like she was proud, but it had become, from what I could see, it had become like her identity. That she had anger issues. That when if she's at home and she's angry, her mom literally hides sharp objects in the house. She told me about the time when she was very angry at her junior sister. So she chased her sister around the house with hot firewood. That stuff that she told me is something that I've noticed in a lot of people, where they take on the identity of having poor emotional regulation and thinking it's something that cannot be changed and even feeling proud about it. Like I have anger issues. It's not a good thing. As an adult, you need to learn how to manage your emotions because as I've already explained, and with the example that I even gave, emotions can ruin your life. If you're an adult, it is not a flex to say that I have anger issues. You need to learn how to regulate your emotions. So one thing I've noticed is that most people around me have this ideology or this belief that you should always be hot-headed. In Nigeria, don't no grief for anybody. I mean, that's the popular phrase that we started with this year. No grief for anybody. Don't let anyone get away essentially with doing anything bad with you. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that you should not be a doormat. You should not let people take advantage of you and all of that. But another aspect that people would overlook is when people use that as a measure of not regulating their emotions because they want to prove that they want to fight for themselves in quotes. They go into fight mode. They're always in fight mode with people. Being in fight mode, always being angry, and when you're angry or when someone triggers you, you act out on those emotions, can land you into trouble. Being human, self-regulation is being a human being. What makes you human is your cerebral cortex. The fact that you can control yourself, that's what differentiates you from an animal, which is why self regulation, emotional intelligence is a skill set that you need to develop. The third aspect of emotional intelligence that I'll talk about is empathy. Empathy is the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes. Is the ability to look at someone, maybe someone has come to you and they are talking about an experience that they had. Now, you might not really have gone through the same thing that they are gone through, but you can imagine. This is where you use your powers of imagination. You can try and imagine what it would feel like to be in this person's shoe. This will help you build stronger connections with people. Because one thing that you should understand is that people want to feel heard, people want to feel seen. And people feel heard and feel seen when they sense that you understand what you are talking about. The next aspect of emotional intelligence is motivation. Motivation, in essence, is talking about how you stay on track when it comes to achieving your goals. We all have goals, but we also know how difficult it is to achieve those things that we want to work on. This aspect of emotional intelligence is understanding that to achieve anything, you need to show up even on days when you don't feel like, because emotions are fleeting. If you bank your actions, whether you're going to take action or not, or whether you feel motivated every single day, because motivation is an emotion. When you feel motivated, you feel energized to go after what you want. But motivation doesn't last. And you know that to achieve what you want, you need to show up every day. Consistency is one of the key factors in achieving anything. So that's where I'm going to leave it at for motivation. The final aspect of emotional intelligence that I will talk about is social skills. When we look at social skills, it talks about how you're able to manage relationships in your life. As humans, we are social creatures. No man is an island. This is a very, very common phrase. And when you're a child, you say, "Oh, no man is an island." You always use that. I remember then, I don't know, I'm using analogy of school. So then in primary school, I think we usually use that when you see someone that is very maybe selfish or the person is always doing things on their own. I will be like, no man is an island. Like, you get. So so yeah, like no man is an island as humans. We need humans, other human beings to thrive in society. So social skills are is an aspect of emotional intelligence where you learn how to manage relationships because the quality of your relationships will determine the quality of your life. With social skills, you learn how to build relationships, both close, both casual, both work relationships that can help you in the future because we cannot do things on our own. I will stop at that when it comes to talking about the different aspects of emotional intelligence. I've been able to talk about self awareness, self regulation, empathy, motivation, and social skills. Now, let me talk about the importance of emotional intelligence. Why should you take emotional intelligence as something that you need to work on? And how can it improve the quality of your life? Studies show that people who are emotionally intelligent have a higher quality of life. They do better at their careers, they have a good relationship with people, they have good quality relationships with people. The first importance of emotional intelligence is that it helps you build stronger and better relationships with people. I've talked about empathy, I've talked about social skills. Let me talk about an interesting aspect of social skills, which is active listening. My dad told me that because my dad is a pharmacist and he has been practicing community pharmacy for over 20 years now. My dad told me that when he was starting out in his practice, one way that he built trust with people is that he would have patients that would come to him and they would literally, in his consultation room, they would sit down and they would talk for over an hour to him. And he told me that these consultations mostly consisted of them coming to talk about their problems. He would sit down there and listen to them quietly. Like he would literally not say anything while this person goes on and on and on. And he said you find that people will spill details about their personal lives and all of that. And at the end of the day, this person goes out and tells every other person that, oh, look, this pharmacist is so intelligent, like he's so good, go to him. Active listening is a skill. It is not easy. It's something that you learn. Active listening is knowing when to quiet down and listen to what the other person has to say, right? Instead of talking over each other. A very interesting example I had was an experience I had recently at work. A colleague who just came in, and this person is a new intake, and I noticed from the few interactions I had with her that she had this habit of talking about other people, and I feel like it's something that she was not aware of. So me, her, and one other of my colleagues, a guy, we're having a discussion. She's talking above everybody, so I'm just keeping quiet, and because when I encounter people like that, I just keep quiet. So I'm just keeping quiet, and she's talking and rambling on, and this other guy is trying to get a point across. He's like, wait, let me tell you something. Wait. He says it over and over again. It was so painful for me to watch. I I just had to like it was it was so painful for me to watch. And she might not know what she's doing. She most likely didn't know what she was doing. But she also didn't know that it was putting her off. It was off putting because if I was that guy, I would feel very frustrated and maybe not even want to have discussions with her anymore. Even at the point the guy was had to tell her that about an incident that happened before where she unknowingly talked over him. So he said something in a discussion that people were having and she talked over him and just blindsided what he said and went on with whatever she was saying. And when he mentioned that to her, she was like, oh, I did not know. I did not know. And those things are things that could subconsciously be driving people away from you without knowing. When people remember you for the effect, the way you made them feel. Did you make them feel seen? Did you make them feel important? Did you make them feel heard? That is an aspect of social skills that emotional intelligence can help you build. Another way emotional intelligence will be beneficial to you is that it is a strong determinant of your work success, your career success. If your job, you're working in an environment, it takes skills, it takes emotional intelligence skills to navigate relationships with co-workers, with your boss, with your clients, with your fellow colleagues. There is a lot of ups and downs when you're working with people. So it takes skills to, get to navigate. Finally, the third importance of emotional intelligence that we'll talk about is how emotional intelligence is beneficial to your mental health. So one of the purposes of my channel is to equip people with the skills they need to manage their mental health. Emotional intelligence helps you manage your mental health. Why? Because we've talked about self-awareness, self-regulation, identifying your emotions, understanding how those emotions affect your thoughts and your behavior, regulating your emotions. Those are the basic aspects of mental health. If you're not self aware, if you don't know how to manage your emotions and your thoughts and your behavior, then your mental health is going to be very shaky. By building the skills of emotional intelligence, you know how to regulate yourself, how to do things to take care of yourself. In subsequent videos on this channel, I'm going to be sharing things about the skills that you need, and they're all going to be interrelated. You're going to see if you follow along on this journey that they're going to be interrelated. Okay, I've come to the end of this video. Today I was able to talk about emotional intelligence and what emotional intelligence is. why it's important. I define emotional intelligence as being able to identify, understand, and manage your emotions. I talked about the five aspects of emotional intelligence. I also mentioned some benefits of emotional intelligence and why you should make it a point of duty to improve your skills in emotional intelligence. So if you enjoyed this video and you're able to get value from this, please like this video and subscribe to this channel so that you can get more content like this. Again, my name is Ugo Emeka, and on this channel, I talk about all things mental health, psychology, and personal development. Till next time.